was just incredible, the amount of detail that he remembered. It obviously had a profound effect on him.
To help further unlock the witness's memory, Bryce has arranged a meeting with a sketch artist, also known as a forensic artist. Forensic art is a technique typically used by law enforcement for the purposes of identification, apprehension, or conviction by creating a composite art sketch of an unknown individual.
What can you tell me about the overall shape of the head?
The shape of the head was completely covered in hair. The head was proportionate to the body size. It wasn't bigger than the body or smaller. It was shaped sort of like a man, but a lot more robust, kind of like a caveman, I guess.
What can you tell me about the top of the head?
The head wasn't round, it was like kind of squarish, and I could see hair on his ears kind of pointed up like this. The way the hair flowed, kind of conical, you could see that hair actually come up together into a point near the rear.
What could you tell me about the eyes?
I remember they were deep set. I couldn't see any whites in the eyes, they were all black. I remember I could see his nose. It wasn't like, you know, an ape's nose is like concaved in. It actually had like a bridge.
I'm really shocked at just the amount of detail that Rob is able to remember. I've spoken to a lot of witnesses, and I usually focus on the emotional aspects of their encounter, but with Rob and Michael drawing out his experience, it just tells me that in most cases, we're barely just scratching the surface.
Would you say this was more human-like or more ape-like?
Definitely more human-like.
That's one of the things that I hear all the time with witnesses. It looked more human than primate.
I remember his chest kind of came out and almost like a ledge, and then kind of came down, like from where his clavicle bone was.
Yeah.
And his trap muscles on behind actually came up to where his ears were.
Interesting.
Man, when you zero in on just
Yeah.
what these things look like, it's incredible the amount of detail a witness remembers.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Rob, when I usually work with witnesses, at this point I'm a little nervous because I'm about to show you what I've been working on. But I'm actually pretty confident this time around because you really remembered a lot of detail. So, I'm really excited for you to see this. Are you ready to see this guy again?
Yeah, let's see it. Holy smokes. Yeah. Wow, that's incredible.
That looks like what you saw.
Yeah. That's incredible. It's crazy. It's like you pulled a red on my brain. That's exactly how the eyebrows looked. They went up like that and then back down. Wow.
How does it make you feel seeing that?
It's just like, it just all comes rushing back. I mean, I feel like I'm shaking. I'm just telling that story. That's amazing.
I was really blown away by Michael's sketch because it's one thing to hear about a witness's Bigfoot encounter, and it's another thing altogether to see the creature they were talking about. Thank you so much, Michael. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to step on anything you might want to analyze here, so I'll tread carefully.
After discovering a massive tunnel near where the mysterious ghost image was captured, Ronnie and Maria are now following an active game trail.
Holy.
Are those bones?
Whoa. Whoa.
In case you're going to touch anything, just be careful where you step.
Pelvis?
Yeah, it's a pelvic bone. It's maybe a deer.
It's very well known that deer is a food source for Bigfoot, so there's a high probability that we're dealing with a Sasquatch.
I have mixed feelings about it because there are obviously a lot of predators that we know of here, but is it Bigfoot?
There's been a lot of different trackways found with Bigfoot prints alongside deer, like they're chasing after the deer. There's been sightings of deer rushing through the woods to see a Bigfoot chasing after them. There's been reports of them taking them by the legs and slamming them against the tree to kill them instantly, or actually snapping their necks. Like exactly what Bryce experienced on our first night here.
That sounds like the deer being attacked. My blood just ran cold.
It's not common to find the remains of an animal in the woods just because of how quickly things tend to be grown over or decompose. While I can't analyze these bones out here, I do want to collect samples and send them to Bryce, who can then send them on to a lab for analysis, because this is the first piece of physical, tangible evidence that we'd had out here of what was moving through the woods.
We don't have that much further to go.
Russell left his camp without further incident, but is now back on the trail of an unknown animal moving still higher into the mountains above.
After last night, there was no sleep for me. Zach heard something approaching us. I could not get anything on a regular flashlight. There was no eye shine coming back. I could not get anything on a thermal, but I heard it myself. Something was on that hillside. I want to know what it was. Let's work our way up to this clearing. I know we've got a clearing about half a mile to 3/4 of a mile away. We'll get to that area. Wherever the hell it's going, I'm going to follow it. Look above you. There's a little tiny basin right here in front of you, 15 feet, 20 feet just above you. I could literally be standing there, you'd never see me. Talk about the perfect ambush location, holy smokes. Are you getting that smell? It does stink. That's nasty. I'm getting close. Because on this bench, I keep getting hints of the smells of rotting flesh. The further I move, the stronger it gets. It's almost to the point where it's just repulsive. And that feeling has me on high alert. Hey. As I come around the bend, there's a deer leg right in the middle of the trail, with flies all over it. And the smell is just ridiculous. The feeling here is just overwhelming. Back up. What is it? There's another leg right there, do you see it? Oh man, look at this. Can you see this up here? There's bones up there. Whoa. Look at that. Can you see all that? There's multiple skeletons up there. I've never seen anything like that. That's not natural, man. That is disgusting. That is just really spooky. I've spent better than 40 years of my life hunting in the mountains. And I've never seen anything like this, ever. In front of me, I'm looking at 7 or 8 different animals. From rib cages, to spines, to skulls. Everything you can imagine in this one concentrated area. Right here is an absolute kill zone. There's old bones, and then there's barely fresh bones. Something's bringing its kills to this space here to feed on it and eat it. I want to treat this like a crime scene, but I don't want to get into it too close because I don't want to miss anything. If I pull up inside of this, I'm going to kind of spoil it. I feel like I'm walking in on somebody's dinner table. You got plenty to eat, and look how thick the trees are around it. You've got seclusion. Everything around this lake screams Bigfoot habitat. Holy Zach, we haven't been getting stalked. We've been moving up his hunting trail this whole time. Wow. I come around the ridge and I realize that I'm right back where we were last year, where we had all that activity. Seeing this lake, and right now finding this kill site, which is just miles away from the footprints, it all hit me at once. This last week I've been being stalked by something, and I feel like we've been getting closer and closer to its home. And right now, I'm literally knocking on the door. If I'm in my house and something comes into my home uninvited, and I take that as a threat, I'm gonna meet that with a threat. This is exactly where we wanna be. Now, we're gonna find what we've been looking for. Feels like you're walking into the mouth of the lion's den.
Previously on Expedition Bigfoot.
The 3D imaging expert just finished his scan. To me, that looks like an upright bipedal creature.
It's like a person.
This last week I've been stalked by something. Keep moving, and I feel like we've been getting closer to its home.
There's something there, bro.
Would you be willing to have a professional sketch artist draw what you saw?
Sure. That's incredible.
See this right here on the ground? There's multiple skeletons up there. Holy. I'm literally standing right over top of the lake where I was last year. That's not natural, man.
In the steep mountain forests of the Olympic Peninsula, survivalist Russell Acord has made a gruesome discovery.
I'm working my way up the side of this hill, and I found this side hill trail, but on the way, I started smelling something. This smelled like rotten meat, like something dead. All this time I thought something was stalking me, but it's much more than that. We are in this creature's hunting grounds. And when I looked over the mountainside, it all made sense. We're back at the same lake that we had all that Bigfoot activity last year.
There are multiple huge heat signatures directly across from me.
Lake Fear. Russ to Maria and Ronnie.
Go ahead, Russ.
Hey guys. Do you know of any species of animals that would literally make a kill and bring it to the same spot over and over again, different kills, and consume in that same exact area time and time again?
That's not animal behavior.
Maria, I actually feel like I'm standing in a kill zone right here.
And not only that, but it's right above the lake from last year. You're talking about Lake Fear?
Yes.
No way.
This is unreal. We've had so much activity last year around that lake, and now Russ finds a kill site. It's not a coincidence. We are close, and I can feel it.
If I give you some coordinates, could you guys make your way up here and sip through this thing with me?
Absolutely. Send them over.
Give me a second, I'm sending them right now.
Okay, I have them.
Sounds good, I'll see you guys shortly. But I'm gonna
Tell you guys right now, be careful on your approach.
because what I'm looking at is,
It's just unnatural.
It's been a day or so since I heard from the team out in the field, but in the meantime, I'm following up on a lead of my own. I'm about to speak with Dr. Todd Baker. Now, Todd is an archaeologist and an osteologist, a bone specialist, and he believes that Bigfoot is out there. And I'm just hoping maybe he can be the guy to answer what so many people ask. How come we never find the bones of Bigfoot?
That is a big question. What I like to relate to people is, you know, there are bear out there, okay, but you very rarely see them. And bear bones are incredibly hard to find.
I mean, how hard to find are we talking about here?
Oh, I've never found bear bones. I mean, you know, walking through the woods, how often do you see bones? It's so hit or miss your chances of finding something, especially in thick vegetation.
It's a needle in a haystack.
Exactly. So when you're dealing with something like a Bigfoot or Sasquatch, they're obviously more intelligent, I believe so anyway, than a bear. So if they don't want you to find their remains, you're not going to find them. And I think they possibly bury their dead.
What makes you think that?
Well, first of all, if you hear some of the sounds, you know, that people play sometimes, you could tell they're putting together syllables in these words. So they're speaking to each other with some type of language. If you have a language, chances are you're also using tools. You're obviously intelligent. So I think that's very possible that they're actually burying their dead, and that's why we're not finding any.
I find Todd's theory that Bigfoot could possibly be burying their dead totally plausible, considering the amount of evidence of just how intelligent these creatures are. And not only that, but even Dr. Jane Goodall suggested the same thing.
Imagine a creature who understands that humans, modern humans, are very dangerous. And so in order to remain hidden, they decide, well, if anybody dies, we'll hide them so that no bones can be found.
So Todd, what made you a believer?
Well, the Forest Service was doing the land exchange with the tribe. So basically we had to go in, make sure there weren't any archaeological sites that were going to be disturbed as a result of this work. So when we drove up, one area is like straight up, steep this way, covered with trees. So thick you can't see into the trees. And on the other side was kind of straight drop down. So we got out, we heard pow, pow. The best way to describe it sounded like somebody hitting a tree with a baseball bat. I had another worker with me, and I joked to her and I said, oh, maybe it's Bigfoot. And her reaction was, that's not funny. Then, just a matter of seconds later, the trees up there just started shaking violently. You couldn't see what was doing the shaking, but you could see the trees shaking. And then it would move over here, knocks, shaking. Then over here, for an hour, it just went back and forth around us. But it was incredibly unnerving, because what that was incredibly strong, incredibly big to be able to do that. Something like that could just snap you like a twig if it wanted to. We wouldn't have a chance.
What would it take, bone-wise, to be able to prove the existence of these creatures?
I'd say if you could find bones that had teeth marks on them, for instance. I mean, rodents gnaw on bones, and other animals eat on bones. But when you're talking about some type of a primate, you're going to have certain things that they do to break bone that's going to stand out. So it's not going to be the same as other animals. You know, like if somebody snaps your arm and you get what's called a spiral fracture. That doesn't happen naturally. That's from a snapping motion.
Yeah. What would it mean to the scientific community for the confirmation of this? What would it mean to us as a society if we confirmed the existence of a Bigfoot?
It would rewrite evolutionary history, is what it would do. You got my curiosity piqued, man.
I'm telling you, this is probably one of the weirdest places I've been.
15 miles east of Bryce, Ronnie and Maria have rendezvoused at the location that Russell believes may be a Bigfoot kill zone.
Look at this.
What the?
Look at that big giant pelvis up there. That doesn't belong to this. There's some fresh ribs up on top there, but some of this stuff is old, it's been here for quite a while. So that tells me this is a pattern.
That seems odd, you know, like...
Yeah.
It's rare enough to find one or two bones, but to see this pit full of bones was just really kind of shocking. All right, well, let's go in and take a look. Glove up, watch your feet, try not to contaminate anything, kind of treat it like a crime scene.
Okay.
Oh, it smells up here. Oh my god. As I walked up to this scene, which was like really gory, all these animal parts scattered everywhere, my first thought is, were there hunters out here? Were they just skinning the game that they'd hunted?
Generally, a trophy hunter or a poacher is going to take something for the antlers.
Right.
And put those on the wall and discard the rest of the carcass.
Yeah.
But the skulls are still here. See, this is a young buck that had already shed its horns before it got brought here.
Huh.
But also, I've been looking for cut marks, like a butcher.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a single clean slice on any of this. This looks like it's been chewed through.
Look at the way this one's been almost gnawed off. Seeing those bite marks rather than cut marks, that sent this in a whole other direction. It also looks like the ribs have been all torn apart.
Look at this skull right here. This has been shattered.
Oh, whoa. When you see the different sized skulls crushed in, the realization hits that something big took them out.
So how many different animals do you think we're looking at here, Marvel?
I would say 7 different animals.
It could be just a dumping ground, right, where these were killed elsewhere and then everything's brought here.
Maybe it took multiple animals to kill multiple animals.
Like a pack.
That's what I'm thinking.
Some of the bones here look old and some of them look fresh. The main point here is something is bringing these back to this site. To me, this is evidence of a family or a pod feeding in this area.
I've been hunting for 40-some years. I've never seen anything like this. Ever. Look around, you guys. Look at this. Where's the fur? Even when you see a deer that's been spread out in the forest, there's always those tufts of fur all over the place. But the only hair that I see are on these couple of legs.
Right.
And the only things that collect fur are humans.
You know what else collects fur? Remember the witness that was local around here that saw a Bigfoot wearing some kind of animal fur?
Last year, while under hypnosis, an eyewitness revealed surprising details about his encounter.
It was wearing like a deer carcass or something on it, like a cape or a shawl.
Maybe these creatures are camouflaging themselves, using parts of their environment.
Oh, wow.
So what if they are, like the Native Americans, using every piece of the carcass, the meat, but then maybe using the hide as clothing?
With all that activity last year on the lake and the path it took us, we're still on that same path. I don't know if we're being ushered out of here or pushed some way or another, but right now we're literally sitting at a dinner table.
And this is crazy.
This is a pivotal moment in our investigation. Last year we had so much activity around that lake, and now Russ finds this kill site right next to the lake. This is the first piece of physical evidence on this expedition.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just throw the entire kitchen sink at it. I'm going to scan that bone to see if we can actually send something to Bryce and someone can analyze it for teeth marks. Yeah. And I'm going to collect some eDNA from this area and just basically leave no stone unturned.
eDNA refers to environmental DNA, genetic material naturally left behind by animals in the soil. Once analyzed, the eDNA specimen can provide a snapshot of any living creature that came in contact with the animal remains.
Last year, we got some really interesting findings from the eDNA sample that I collected in Kentucky.
We have detected primate DNA.
If I could replicate those results here, then they become even more significant.
While Maria finishes gathering evidence from the soil,
a lot of details, yeah.
Russell and Ronnie are running digital scans of each bone they have collected to be sent out and analyzed.
These bones could give us a lot of information. They could tell us what actually was chewing on these bones and what type of species these bones belong to. I think we documented this pretty well.
So what I like is that there's actually a fresh kill, and I think that really increases our chances of finding any sort of physical evidence or tracks or something. This is the first time where we actually have a shot of still being in the vicinity of whatever caused this. The lake is just below us. After everything we encountered there last year,
What the hell is that?
and everything that led us back here, This area should be our target for our research.
It looks like this ledge goes all the way around the outside of that hill.
So what I think we need to do is find out what lies between the lake and this upper ridge line. Is there something truly habitating in this area?
As the sun sets, the team begins to investigate the areas above the lake.
This lake sits in a giant bowl, and last year we explored the eastern side of it. This year, we're on the opposite side.
The team will explore the ridge along the western side of the bowl, with Ronnie and Maria taking the north section and Russell taking the south.
This is brand new territory for us because we never investigated this side of the ring, let alone at this altitude. It is a scary thought because we have no idea what's out here. You know, the design of this, Maria, definitely seems pretty interesting for a predator, right?
Yeah, it's like a choke point.
Yeah.
If you're a predator and you have that high ground above us, this is a perfect trail to come down and ambush on because there's no escaping it.
You know, deer are coming through here. The bones are all over the place.
Ronnie? Ronnie?
Yeah.
Come over here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Definitely placed, it looks like. Like if this fell this way, if this was tree fall, we should see root system around here where they're broken off. And I don't see that. Looks like a marker to me.
Does it?
Yeah. What's really interesting is that the X is something that reoccurs over and over again in Bigfoot research. There are these different markers, almost like street signs. And this one was directly in the middle of the trail. That X is saying to stay out.
Look, you can see all the way out. Holy smokes.
Straight up cliff.
Wow, that just goes straight down. Watch out for these little crevices right here. It's pretty unsure footing. You'll lose an angle on that quick. Fresh deer tracks come off this hill. But this right here is what interested me. Something much larger. Wow.
Let's keep going.
Look at this wide open trail. Almost like a hidden part of the woods. Looks like a cathedral from here.
Feels like a different forest, doesn't it?
It really does. This one almost feels too welcoming. What? Holy.
Whoa. All of a sudden, we come across something that stops us in our tracks.
This doesn't look like tree fall.
It's like X's from top to bottom.
It was exactly what we had seen previously on the trail, but now on a much larger scale.
I think it's 30 feet up. It's like a stop sign to me.
Oh yeah, this is all just bad news.
We can get into it. But be careful.
I just got a sense like the energy shifted.
To be honest with you, I have an uneasy feeling.
Kind of feeling that sensation of being watched.
Look at this. Do you see this?
Oh, something's standing up there.
Yep. Something's been slipping there.
So now I'm feeling like if we weren't trespassing before, it sure as hell feels like we are now.
That's fresh. Holy crap.
I'm gonna try for Russ.
Yeah. Hey Russ, come in for Ronnie. Russ, come in for Ronnie. Russ, come in for Ronnie. Russ, come in.
Why isn't he answering?
Yeah, be careful. You see that? That's a bear den right there. We need to stay out of that.
Hey, Ross. Ross, come in.
Hey, Ronnie, go ahead.
Say again, Ronnie, I didn't catch that.
Hey, Russ, come in for Ronnie. Russ, come in for Ronnie. I don't know if his battery's dead on this walkie or...
We can try again.
I mean, this is pretty obvious, like something put this here. But this is really intricate, and you don't see him this high. It's really odd.
You guys trying to contact me?
Oh, I got him. Hold on. Yeah, we just haven't been able to get in touch with you.
No, I got down into a low area and
I think there was enough hillside between the two of us, we didn't really have a
good signal.
Well, we just found a couple of very interesting structures. The first one was an X in the middle of the trail.
And then another really elaborate structure, but high up.
That hillside sure seems to be offering a lot of really strange things.
You guys want to link up sometime tomorrow?
Yeah, I think this is a good spot. We're seeing some strange stuff. And once we hit first light, I'd love to have you kind of check out that structure with us.
Roger that. I haven't found much down here, so I'll come to your discovery first thing tomorrow morning.
Yeah, be careful. We're coming up on it now.
Yeah, I want you to see this. I want to get your reaction. Russ has been very hesitant to call something a tree structure or to call something a signpost. Oh, wow. So when he got closer to that big structure and I could see his eyes widen, I got really excited.
Ronnie, I'm not gonna lie to you. Generally, when I see tree structures, I've always been pretty underwhelmed. But this is impressive.
You know, it looks like scaffolding to me.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
I've always maintained that I have a very difficult time with stick structures because they could be placed by man. And I don't put a whole lot of emphasis on these. But walking up to this tree structure, it got my mind processing. All these lower branches on this tree that are fragile, it doesn't take much to break these things off. This stuff was 20 feet off the ground, and I thought, okay, well, maybe a good tree climber would have done this. If I tried to do this, I would have to have a lift truck and get up there and settle those things into place and not disturb all these branches on the way down. A tree climber would have taken that moss and torn it off, and the branches would have been broken off. This was absolutely untouched.
Well, it would have to be something actually quite tall.
There's only one way in and one way out on this trail. From either side, you have to come this way to get around it.
Right.
This literally feels like it's pushing to a different direction. Why would something push you to this edge?
Every day you start to work here.
You think this is set up to almost
start to clean
have
here.
game pause and stop and then be a sitting duck for a few seconds for something to pounce?
You choke the traffic to one spot that you can make your attack.
Yep.
What better place to corner your prey?
So chimpanzees are in fact known to have really organized hunts. They'll have a driver to run them through and then they'll have somebody waiting to ambush.
This is starting to make sense to me. Where the bone pit is, that's where the food is consumed. This tree structure is where the kill would actually take place. And when Maria explains that chimpanzees are known for organized hunts, that makes it much more plausible.
We have all of this suggestive evidence, we have physical evidence, let's just throw everything we have at it.
I think we should get hold of Bryce. Agreed?
Hello.
Hey, Bryce.
Hey guys, what's going on?
We started getting a lot of
Activity in this one area, and you wouldn't believe it, it's as if something pushed us towards the very spot
where we were having all of the activity last year.
Over here.
Are you talking about the lake?
Yeah, we are.
Right on top of it again.
Then there's lots of
And
micro
Lorraine tells me that
electronics
that
and
trail
mini
leads them back
electronics
to
and
the
stuff
same
like that.
lake we were at
And you
last
just
year.
gently over here.
I got
And as you
goosebumps.
finish
None of us have been able to shake just how close we were to finding Bigfoot in this area before we had to evacuate from the wildfires. And if we're back at the same lake this year, then that means that we could be on the cusp of uncovering definitive proof.
So what are you guys finding then?
There were 7 or 8 different skeletons all compiled on this one spot.
Really?
And I'll tell you something else, Bryce. We found an X formation in the middle of the trail.
It used 3 different trees. Some of these
Branches were 15 to 20
feet long.
That's pretty odd.
So what's the plan? What do you guys want to do?
I think it's time to take the next step. It's time to surveil the lake itself using everything at our disposal.
Yeah, I love that. As a matter of fact,
You guys remember the team that brought out the tethered drone
last year?
Yeah.
Last year in Washington, the team deployed state-of-the-art tethered drone technology.
That's an incredible piece of equipment right there.
Normal drones of this size have a flight time limit of around 45 minutes, but the tether provides a constant power source, allowing these drones to stay aloft indefinitely.
They've been doing some R&D and they've upgraded their drone equipment. I think we should give them a ring.
Oh, great.
Why don't
You guys send me your coordinates and
I'll get to work on something.
Up until now, we've been exploring above the lake, but based on what we found here and what we know from last year, it makes sense that we go down to the lake. All right, awesome. Thanks, Bryce. Last year, whatever was down by the lake just managed to escape us. This year's strategy will help prevent that.
Sounds good.
Yeah, there's too much of those things.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
show you
Hey guys.
The advanced drone team has arrived and positioned their base of operations on a logging road above the lake.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
They brought with them a selection of military-grade surveillance technology.
So what we have here is a drone that is designed to patrol military bases. The goal is to cover large amounts of ground and to detect any intrusions. To assist us in that is ground sensors. If anything comes within a 100-foot radius, detects a vibration, it'll give us a notification.
And then the drone gets deployed to that specific site.
Correct. And how many drones do we have? Just this one? 6.
Oh wow, we can cover a lot of ground with this then. Last year, whatever was out there managed to get away. But this year, with this many drones available to us, nothing is going to slip by us.
And I'm just curious, because this forest is so dense, how much visibility will we have with the drone with the ground cover?
We do have an IR camera. It's good for night vision and it picks up heat signatures. And we do have a lot of open spots in between the tree lines. So we could pick up something, but if we can't see too close, we need to have boots on the ground.
That's what we're here for. Because we'll have thermal imaging on the ground too, so that'll be nice.
All right, so while you guys set up, we'll go ahead and set up the ground sensors.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
In preparation for tonight, the team will split up. Each member will bury seismic sensors across the target area.
This area is really conducive to containing whatever's in it. If you could imagine it being sort of like a bowl where you can establish a perimeter, you should potentially be able to see whatever's moving through it.
Okay guys, zone 1 sensor deployed.
Zone 2 set up as well.
Zone 3 is deployed.
I'm gonna head back to base and I'll be the eyes up there.
We're set. We're in a small, concentrated area, and we are sharing the space with this thing. Tonight is the night where it all comes together.
No, I think it's fine. The clothes are clean.
The field team is gearing up for tonight's investigation of the lake. But I'm about to speak with Dr. Robert Michael Pyle. He's the author of Where Bigfoot Walks.
No chemicals.
He's a scientist, a naturalist, and somebody I really respect. This guy was actually given a Guggenheim grant to study certain aspects of Bigfoot and has focused a lot of his research in the western Washington state region, known as the Dark Divide. I can't wait to hear what he has to say about Bigfoot.
Every Northwest Indian group all have a Bigfoot figure. They all share similar characteristics. And none of them, not a one, don't believe literally in this animal's existence.
I go out there into the forest.
And that's why I actually looked into Bigfoot, culturally, biologically, and in every other...
See over here, let me show you quickly. Let me just show you quickly what I do. Then you understand. Doing what I do. Okay. See this female. I go out, when I was small I wanted to become like her. Okay? So I studied speleology and I got my company called the Cave Rats. It's established under me before my brother Gerard and Marine Lindsay moved in here. I always wanted to do what she does. Now, let me show you what a speleologist is, because those things I usually watch on my own.
Okay, no
Yeah,
problem.
let me just show you what a speleologist
No
is.
problem. I want to start with.
Just let me show you quickly what I do, and then you can see what those things are. It's very fast. Then you can go on. Speleology. Let me just show you quickly what they can't do at all. Hold on. You see, that's a speleologist. You see that? There's someone, they go into cave. You understand?
Yeah.
They go into
This
cave,
is something I never...
and then they go into caves.
This is something I never thought I would do.
That's what they do.
I've never considered myself claustrophobic or anything, but this sort of stuff makes my stomach drop. You just put that like your original thing.
No, I forgot the baguette for. Oh, you use this one.
That bucket, you can use for chemical sweeping. You know those chemical sweepings?
Okay.
Yeah.
Bigfoot. Culturally, biologically, and
So this
in every other way I could think.
Those ones are, you don't have to watch them. I watch them, those are for the rabbits.
It's really the epicenter of
It's for the
Bigfoot.
rabbits.
Out St. Helens is on the western edge of it, not Adams on the eastern edge, and then this ridge of black, shaggy rocks running between the two volcanoes is the Dark Divide itself. And in the middle of it is a lake called Cultus Lake, and cultus means forbidden or bad or unsavory, something you don't want to mess with.
Right.
And so the Klickitats and Yakimas gave that name to this lake because of the frequency with which Bigfoot was encountered there. And that's why it's been abandoned.
Well, you know, it's funny you mention a lake, because we're actually investigating a remote lake up here right now.
That's interesting.
And it's yielded some pretty compelling physical evidence. In fact, not that far from the lake, we discovered a huge pile of bones belonging to what appears to be several different animals indigenous to the area.
Oh my God. There's something that could represent the animal's activity. Things in the forest that could illustrate things that could have something to do with it.
Between the recent evidence that we've come across and now Dr. Pyle telling me about this abandoned cultist lake, this is just further proof that these isolated bodies of water are hotspots for Bigfoot activity. Can you talk about some of those experiences you had in the Dark Divide?
I surely will. The end of my trek came after a month, a solid month in the wilderness. And I was riding back across the edge of the Dark Divide, and I stopped at Elk Pass. And all of a sudden I start hearing whistles. Just these, whew, whew, but not elk bugling. This is lighter, higher, smoother, and I start whistling back. Whew, whew. And the sounds came back to me. So I was about to set my handbrake and get out with my flashlight. And all of a sudden, bam! Something strikes the roof of my car. And if an old Honda can burn rubber on a wet Forest Service road up there, I did.
It's fascinating to me that Dr. Pyle thinks he might have been communicating with a Bigfoot via whistling, because I just recently had a similar experience up in this very same region. Did you hear that? A pattern seems to be emerging with these whistle calls. That's going to be invaluable going forward in our investigations in the field.
So I think it was 2 days later, I went back up there. And what do I find? But there was a series of 12 impressions. And the 12 tracks were spaced at about an 8-foot strut. And they were 15 3/4 inch long. Now I went home and wrote the book, and I was able to say that I came out of it with an open mind. But also, I haven't shared this with very many people at all, almost no one. But I feel I had a sighting very recently. I was driving along Highway 12, and all of a sudden an elk jumped out from the side, and I very nearly hit it. I went slowly after that, because when you see one, you're probably going to see more.
Yeah.
And my peripheral vision, which is good, picked up another animal movement on my left. I saw, first of all, that it was erect. It had 2 legs that were moving like this, and that it had a long arm hanging down.
I mean, you must have been in shock.
Well, I don't want faith to enter my science. But am I even more open than before? Yes, I certainly am. And yet I don't think the quality of my sighting was sufficient that I would ask others to